back for a new review on Marvel Studios' Thunderbolts. It's me, Omid.
It's me, Alvin.
We got the crew back. We just came back from Japan. For those who don't know, and fresh off our trip from Japan, we're like, let's go hit our local cinema and watch Thunderbolts. And for those of you that don't know, Marvel recently has been in the gutter, according to some people. And this movie, I think, leading up to it, people were not very excited because when they saw the Thunderbolts team, they're like, "There's three Captain Americas, two Black Widows, and like a guy named Bob." No one really knew what was going on, and I am pleasantly surprised to say that I think the reception to this movie has been quite positive. People are saying Marvel is back because of a lot of the whiffs they had recently, and I'm also happy to confirm I think this movie was a slam dunk. Alvin, you want to give your brief thoughts? Did the movie work for you? Was it a slam dunk for you, or was it a bit overhyped?
No, the movie definitely worked for me. I think it was a really good movie. I think for me, I probably didn't get as much enjoyment out of it as other people have, but I still think it's probably the best Marvel movie in like a long time. I think within the past few this batch of movies, I think this was probably the strongest entry.
So, for those of you who don't know, the Thunderbolts is pretty much a ragtag team of failed heroes slash anti-heroes. Uh, I think being assembled by Julia Louis-Dreyfus' character, was it like Allegra D. Fontaine or something? Valentina D. Fontaine.
Yes.
Uh, so essentially, this is Marvel's Suicide Squad, and they've brought together characters from previous movies like Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp, Yelena Belova from, I believe, Black Widow, Taskmaster from Black Widow, U.S. Agent from Captain America and the Winter Soldier, Red Guardian also from, wow, a lot of people from fucking Black Widow.
Yeah.
And then you have Bucky Barnes, Winter Soldier, just from Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
And essentially, like I said, this is Marvel's Suicide Squad because it's been years. I don't even know when this was announced, but I think this movie is a very simple premise. It's just this group of anti-heroes are trying to save the world from a threat that you would see in the trailer. They don't confirm who it is, so we won't confirm it until we hit into the spoilers. But I think what I can strongly say about this movie was it had a lot of heart, a lot of comedy, and I think it was very introspective, something that I was never expecting from a Marvel movie. Because as we see in the trailers, Yelena Belova, Orange Pugh's character, is not really fulfilled or content with her life and where it's going, and this movie pretty much tackles the idea of someone not essentially content with their life and kind of wanting to pivot and make a change. So yeah, Alvin, what do you want to talk about the movie?
Yeah, this was
Who the
the
standout?
this who were the standouts? Is
Or
that what you said?
yeah, no, sorry. Finish your thought, and then we'll go into the standout.
This movie so I saw this with Kevin, Justin, and Amity, and the main consensus coming out of the movie was this was a dark movie, which was unexpected. This was the deepest that a Marvel movie has made me think in a while, and it got a little bit too real at times, if I'm being honest.
Yes,
Right.
yes, and I love that.
I love that this movie. I guess are we talking? We're not really talking spoilers, but I'll talk about one of the themes
Not yet.
that this movie discusses, and it's very big into mental health, and I love that aspect of it, that you see something of this scale talk about something so serious and something that a lot of people struggle with on a day-to-day basis, and it kind of is
Yes, yes,
juxtaposing if these people who are superheroes and like have these otherworldly lives deal with the same things that us regular people deal with in the regular world, then maybe everything will, maybe it'll be okay. Things people go through these things, like it's becoming more normalized, which I think is a great thing. It's not
I
stigmatized.
agree.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. I think you're right. It's like the idea of these characters who are larger than life have saved the world countless times or have taken on superheroes and supervillains. It's showing that their conflict is something as relatable and as quote unquote ground level as just not being content with one's life and depression and toxic self talk, self hatred. This is a great look into introspection, even for yourself, like for anyone. Because as you said, even when I was watching the movie, I was like, wow, this is. addressing questions or bringing up talking points. Like, damn, I felt kind of what they were talking about, or like it was. I was just pleasantly surprised that Marvel would actually make something so introspective. And I think a big reason why is that they actually hired crew members and creatives from A24 or actual filmmakers that have done truly artistic things that are not necessarily part of the Marvel formula. Like I know it said the writer and director of Beef did this, and I loved Beef. You saw Beef, right?
I saw Beef.
Yeah. So I think the just and then the cinematographer of Green Knight, I didn't even see it, but like just the way the movie was shot, like when they were going between the trauma rooms, I was like,
Yes.
this is like this is like so much sauce.
Yes.
They tackle a room, fall into the next one.
Yes.
It was it was such a breath of fresh air, which I think is we say it needed to happen for MCU, but to be frank, I think it's just been needed for all superhero movies, both MCU and DC movies. That like I have not seen a Marvel movie that's or even any just a superhero movie that has made me think like this. Like I was just getting chills at the end when it's just showing uh, how your loved ones can help you overcome very serious mental things that one deals with. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
who are your standouts?
Two standouts. I'm sure they're the same for you. Florence Pugh, Lewis Pullman, the
Yes,
goats.
yes,
Yes.
Bob. Yes,
Yes.
yes.
I think
Yelena and Bob were really good.
yeah, they were so good, and I loved those characters. And I wasn't completely let down by the other characters, but I think a big thing about these ensemble movies is that you're gonna have one or two characters be shafted, and I'm sure you felt the same way. But I think
I
that
think only one, in my opinion, got shafted.
we probably have the same character then,
Yeah, I
right?
think everyone knows.
Yeah.
Everyone knows who gets shafted.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, you're talking about the big one. I'm talking about the main core group. You know how there's like a main 5 or 6.
Okay, who didn't got shafted? Red Guardian.
No, do you want me to spoil it or should we wait till spoilers?
Uh, I just yeah. Who do you think got shafted without telling us why or going in? Is it Ghost?
It's Ghost,
Okay, that's fair.
and
That's fair.
I think a little bit of John Walker, U.S. agent. There's so many things
He
that
was great.
he was great, but there's a lot of
He was
things that they
great.
kind of hint at or like
Could have done.
they yeah. There's a lot to
They could have pushed at it more. They could have
yes
went at it more.
exactly, but
I
he's not
agree.
the main character of this movie, which is understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? Who are the
Um,
standouts?
yeah, I think the standouts for sure were Yelena and Bob. I was, I don't know if you felt the same way, but it's crazy that one movie, because I didn't see Black Widow, one movie I've seen with Yelena Belova, I was like, wow, I actually care way more about her than I ever did for Black Widow in any of the other movies. And like, the crazy thing too is you kind of forget that Black Widow is supposed to be a Russian character. So it's very refreshing to see both Yelena and the Red Guardian speak with Russian accents. Because I'm like, oh wow, I forgot she's Russian. They totally erased that from Scarlett Johansson's character, and Scarlett Johansson I feel like was mainly just her sex appeal assassin. And after the first go around, like, oh, you get sick of it. You've seen it before. But Yelena was so deep, so sincere, and just so relatable that I was like, man, she's great. She carried the movie
Mm-hmm.
on her shoulders very well. And then same thing with Lewis Pullman, because for those of you who don't know, uh, Stephen Yoon was supposed to be playing that character Bob, but I believe due to COVID, there were some scheduling issues that he could not fulfill the role. So they went with Lewis Pullman, and I think Lewis Pullman did a great job, mainly in like playing Bob in like this helpless kind of like stoner vibe. That I don't know if Stephen Yoon could have done it as well. That just Lewis Pullman was great as Bob. He shows a lot of I think emotional weakness, and it was great. He was
Mm-hmm.
great. Also, John Walker, I think, was the third. Uh, he was awesome, and us, me and Emmer, we saw it together in the Galleria or Americana. And I don't know about you, but there's a scene where they're all trapped, and they're trying to figure out how to get out of this trap.
Mm-hmm.
And John Walker's like, you know what? Let me try something. And he leaps and he jumps like, I don't know, a couple of thousand feet in the air, and like he goes off screen. I audibly like because it was a knee jerk reaction. I was like, what the fuck? Like it's just crazy to see them actually show them be super soldiers, but it was kind of awesome. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know about you, I was telling this to Amir, I'm like, in a way, John Walker, since he's a failed hero, almost makes him cooler than Captain America in a way, because I'm like, he actually is a character. Captain America is a perfect symbol, perfect image. This guy is trying to redeem himself, and it was awesome. He was awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I think Wyatt Russell kills it in the role. I think that
Yeah.
if you kind of, I felt a little bit jar. It was a little bit jarring for a few characters because you just hadn't seen them in a while. So they were very fleshed out when they first joined the MCU, but then now in this iteration they just don't have too much development, or they kind of completely change character. Like I think John Walker, he was great, but he was also a little bit too comedic in this movie. But I don't
Yeah, he
have
was
any.
stupid.
Yeah, I don't have any complaints
Like, he
about
was
that.
like,
But I think just the writing was like, it kind of took me a second to
changed
kind
it.
of get used to it. And then with Ghost too, she just there's no backstory to her. There's no reason for her. She's in there. She's just kind of there, and she's just an aspect of this team. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think for you when you brought up Steven Yeun, I don't know if you saw that there was leaked concept art of Steven Yeun that was
I did.
released today.
I did see it.
Yeah,
What were your thoughts?
it. I love Steven Yeun, and I think he would be a great fit. I know he's been trying to get into the Marvel universe for a while, but I don't think he could have done the exact same thing that Lewis Pullman did. And I think
I agree, especially with the costume at the end. Like, I think it
Yeah.
wouldn't have hit as well. I think.
Yes, I agree. I think Lewis Pullman is like straight up like a good. He's pulled from the comics, in my opinion.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
yeah, he's a good.
I was telling
Sentry.
you, I mean, I don't know if Steven Yeun could have pulled off like the helpless vibe as well,
Yeah,
but I do think at the end of the movie with like the emotional weakness, I think
Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen Steven because I think he could break down
yeah,
very well. That would have
Yeah.
been awesome to see.
yes, I agree.
But I'm still very happy with Lewis Pullman.
Yeah.
What do you think of Bucky and Red Guardian?
They were there. It seemed like they were there just for like the team aspect of it. It seemed like you just needed some veteran from the MCU from earlier movies to fill that role, and then you needed Red Guardian because he's like the comedic relief. But I actually really liked both of their dynamics with the team and with each other.
Mhm.
I love that Bucky was the veteran MCU actor chosen because if you think about it, he's been through what they've been through. He's the end result, right?
He's the perfect fit.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's the end result of what they could be, and I love that.
Yes.
Right?
I'm literally getting chills from it right now. Because everyone I was watching, like, this is so genius. Because they're all saying, "Oh, I want to change the trajectory of my life."
Yeah.
Who had the shittiest like upbringing was Bucky, and at the end he became a hero.
Yeah.
And me and Emma were both saying when we saw Civil War. I don't know if you remember this. Like, the reason why I hate that movie is because I think Captain America acts out of character because he's very selfish, defending Winter Soldier. And then when I watched that movie, I'm like, man, I hate Winter Soldier. But flash forward almost 10 years later, I'm like, wow, he is great. He is one of the best inclusions in MCU, and they did the work. He and the writers have done the work to slowly show that he's changing for the better. And to make him the veteran MCU was a brilliant choice. I think Sebastian Stan always kills it. He is great. It's funny. I don't know if you thought the same thing too, but like I feel like they also kind of made him like dumber in a way. Like when he was kind of trying to be a congressman, I'm like, wow, you are like helpless.
Yes,
Like spilling sauce on his shirt. I'm like,
Yeah.
how are you being this dumb?
I think that was the point of it because he's out of his element as a congressman or like a statesman.
Yeah.
Right? Like he's not supposed to be that, but because of the optics, it's a good look for him, right?
Yeah.
But he's clearly out of his element. He thrives when he's in combat and he's with the team aspect and all of that.
He's a soldier.
Exactly. And I think with Red Guardian, he's great. Like David Harbour kills in that role. You can clearly tell he enjoys playing it. He's having so much fun. And there are like two scenes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Exactly. There are like two scenes in the movie, two monologues. I think they're both with Florence Pugh and David Harbour. Those two scenes are amazing.
Yeah, especially the last one.
Yes. We both know what we're talking about.
The goalie, right?
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. There's one where it's like I stare at my phone. That's the scene that I was talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that in the apartment the first time, or is that when she was like running away from him.
Running away.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that was really sad.
Yes.
Because I don't think it's a spoiler, but it's the idea of Yelena kind of not being happy with herself, and she's like, I go to work, I do the same thing, I come home to nobody, I drink, I go on my phone and scroll for hours, and I just think about the bad things I've done. And Red Guardian responds with, "Yeah, but everyone's done bad things." And she's like, "Yeah, but I've done so many bad things."
Yeah.
It's like haunting her, and I'm like, "Damn!" Like it's it's weird because like obviously for us we're not on the superhero level, but it can just be any mistake, anything cringe we've done in our life. It's like, oh, it will stay in the back of your mind forever. And I think this movie is essentially addressing the only way to come over to essentially overcome it is to address it and face it head on.
Yeah.
And from there you can be healthier. Like it is truly surprising that this movie, and I don't know about you, I'm very happy that it the final fight or the final conclusion of this movie was not a big boxing fight. It was an introspective therapy session,
Yeah.
which was great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really really good. What do you think of Julia Louis Dreyfus' character?
I think she was good.
Fontaine.
Yeah, she was good. She's like the an evil version of Nick Fury, I suppose. She
Amanda
plays the
Waller.
role well. I don't really have any complaints. She doesn't really stand out too much, but she's serviceable for the job that she's given and the writing that she's given,
Mhm.
and she moves the plot
Yeah,
forward. So I think she's good. Yeah.
she did her job. She was just so evil. I don't know about
Yeah.
evil. I was like, man, I hate you. Like, you're so evil.
She, I think
And
she does a really good thing about like her character is very quick and like thinks fast, and I really like
yeah,
that
she's
aspect of her
always
character.
on her
Yes.
feet. Yeah,
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 I agree.
yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to scrub everything, get rid of all the evidence.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because I like there is a moment in the movie where they're trying to get rid of all the evidence, and it was interesting when they were having the characters come there. Like immediately when Lawrence got there, I'm like, oh wow, they're gonna have everyone come, and this is her cleaning up the loose ends, and that was an awesome scene in the trailer. Where you have all the Thunderbolts fighting each other. Uh, it was like it was. I mean, we're praising this movie a lot, but Alvin, I know you told us what you give the movie. Can you go over what were some of the things that you didn't like? What would you have improved about the movie?
I don't.
What didn't work?
Yeah, I don't think there are things that I would like. I didn't dislike anything. I just wish that there was more given because I enjoyed these characters and the story and the environment that they were in. I just wanted more of it, right? So I think that's probably the biggest thing that why I gave that this movie that score. But
You're happy with what you got, but you were hungry for more.
exactly, which it looks like we're gonna be getting more, which I'm glad about. I will say that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I because we didn't mention it for Amir. I know Amir enjoyed the movie. He was not as elated as I was. Some of the stuff Amir didn't like was, I believe, he said Red Guardian did not work for him at all. Uh, I thought that was surprising because I was actually kind of happy that one character was delegated to be the comic relief, and it wasn't everyone being super jokey and whimsical. So for me, what he did worked, and I was telling Amir, I was like, I think just anyone who has like an immigrant dad can see their dad in this character because they're very kind, very loving, but also like they're not the most aware of the new generation, so they can be a bit cringe. But I thought he was great. He was truly a heart of gold. Um, went over John Walker. We went over Bob and Yelena. I think before we go into spoilers, we can just go and give our score, and then we'll move it over into our spoiler discussion.
Mhm.
I would say for me, this movie was truly a slam dunk. I texted this to Alvin. I think this movie is leaps and bounds better than both Suicide Squads, and I think Marvel beat DC at the Suicide Squad game. And honestly, this is might be crazy. I think this might be the best Marvel movie since Endgame, and I think it's also better than both Infinity War and Endgame. Because the only one that comes close, in my opinion, is Guardians 3. But I feel like for me, this movie was tighter, and the stuff it addressed. It could also just be my own personal opinion that I felt way more in this movie than I did in Guardians. But I mean, Guardians is also a great finale. I have not watched in a while, But I just know my knee jerk reaction when I watched the movie was I loved it.
Mm.
I give the movie an A. It was great. I really loved it.
Yeah.
Alvin?
For me, straight off the bat, my score is a 3.25 out of 5, 7.5 out of 10. And I'm with the same sentiment for you. Yesterday, I was discussing it. I haven't felt this way about a Marvel movie since Shang-Chi. And that movie was
Yeah.
4 years ago. And I love that movie. But you bring up Guardians. I love Guardians 3. But the reason why I forgot about that is because I haven't seen it since, because it's actually very sad and traumatizing. I don't have a desire to watch it again, but I know that I love that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So
Cool. Yeah.
it's been a while since I've felt.
So is this below Shang-Chi as well?
Yeah, I think all
Like,
three.
what is better than
That's a good question. What's better than Shang-Chi or what's better than Thunderbolts?
what is better than Thunderbolts? Was it only those two? Because I think I enjoyed. I think this was also tighter than Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ryan Coogler for Sinners. That movie's peak fiction.
Uh,
But yeah, what was better than Thunderbolts?
I think I think Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is probably the best in terms of like emotion and story and payoff. And then Shang-Chi is like below Guardians 3 because that movie, I just love that movie, but I think there are some issues with it. And then after that is Thunderbolts.
Big CG monster at the end.
Yeah. And then Thunderbolts is third,
Yeah.
right?
I was telling this to Amir, he was really surprised. I think this is also better than Far From Home. I love Far From Home. Far From Home is a great movie, but I think Far From Home, as Alvin would say, is member berries and nostalgia bait.
Far From Home or No Way Home?
Thunderbolt. Whichever's the last one.
No Way Home.
No Way Home. Actually, it's No Way Home. You know what You know what I meant.
No, but I know that you like Far From Home too because we did that long ass video of the title defense.
It was a great one.
It was good.
It was a great one. I truly proved that it was better than Homecoming. This
Yes.
movie is better than Homecoming. You gotta give me that. You gotta give me that.
No. As a Spider-Man fan, I simply cannot. As a Spider-Man fan, I simply cannot say that this is better than Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yelena is better than Tom Holland.
No, she's not, dude. No, she's not. No, she's not.
Yes, she is.
No, she's not.
Yelena is. We're here for the Yelena Bob supremacy, and also U.S. agent is probably better than Chris Evans.
He has more sauce. I will give him that.
Yeah.
He has more sauce.
I love just him falling down from this. Just one that was sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, Alvin gave us his review. I gave you my review. Alvin said 7.5. I said A. We enjoyed the movie. I think these are pretty strong recommendation. Alvin, would you recommend people watching this in theaters or wait for Disney Plus?
No, watch it in theaters. This is not a wait for Disney Plus. This is not a Captain America Brave New World. All right.
It's unfortunate. I saw Brave New World on the plane.
Oh, did you?
And I actually watched it last night. We bought it digitally.
Oh.
Legally, we watched
God.
it legally.
Yeah, I would not pay for that movie. I would not pay for that movie.
And what was so unfortunate was when I was watching that movie was every character in that movie deserved better. I feel bad for the writers. I feel bad for the directors. That movie truly was dealt a terrible hand, and I can say I'm happy that it delivered a movie. But when I watched it, it was not satisfying for Captain America. It was not satisfying for Ross. Leader got screwed over, and this is it's just mini rant. It's an unofficial Hulk movie that does not have Hulk in it, and Betty's barely in the movie. What the fuck? As a Hulk meme, that really made me sad. I'm like, man, you could have made Gold. Like, sure, if you're not gonna make Captain America the mainstay, if you're at least gonna do the Hulk movie, at least do that right. It doesn't do that right. It doesn't do Anthony Mackie any justice. Danny Ramirez or Joaquin Torres, I'm not too big a fan of him. I think it was very dumb to have two Falcons. Their powers are the exact same, so it's not very fun to watch. Mini rant. I hope just in Anthony Mackie's next outing, he gets a fair shake because I do think he's a great Captain America, and I'm excited to see what he can do. So we both recommend you to watch this movie in theaters, Thunderbolts. It was great, and we're gonna move and transition into our spoiler review. So if you have seen the movie, stay around. If you haven't and you don't want it spoiled, you can go ahead and click off, come back once you have. We are appreciative of you watching our video. Hit the like button, subscribe, and drop in the comments some of your favorite moments. Who were the standouts to you? I think everyone can probably say it's Yelena, but maybe it's someone else. I'm excited to hear about it. Thank you for watching, guys, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Thank you guys.
Cool. So those that have left, we are in our spoiler discussion of Thunderbolts, and right off the bat, Alvin, what are your thoughts on Sentry and the Void?
Yeah, that's like the character we didn't really touch upon too much in the non-spoiler section. I feel like that dude is like the biggest spoiler probably. I don't know, because we knew that he was gonna be in the movie.
Yeah.
Right, but apparently, at least like my sister, Justin, Kevin didn't really know too much, so it was kind of a surprise. Really? Yeah, which I'm surprised about.
Because the movie, I was very happy with the movie. Throws you right into it. Project Sentry, and they're talking about this. So when they heard the name Sentry, they did not make the connection that Bob was Sentry.
As soon as Kevin heard Project Sentry, he knew because he's a comic book fan.
Okay.
But the other two didn't know. Like the marketing just didn't have anything about the villains who they're fighting against or anything. So that kind of
the shadow.
Yeah, exactly. It kind of just came as a big surprise. I loved Bob. I loved the Void. I love Sentry. They're great. They're great.
He came. He delivered.
Yes.
He was awesome. I also loved how they showed the Void, just a shadow, and all you see is his eyes. Oh my God, Marvel has never had sauce like that. And it's simple. It's just a silhouette. You didn't have to have a costume or anything. It was just a silhouette and the piercing nothingness of the abyss. And it was a great personification of the void that they were mentioning, of depression and sorrow. He was great. He was truly great. And what do you think of the Sentry costume? I know some people weren't fans of it. I liked it.
I liked it. I think seeing it in motion, I think for me, the CGI was a little bit wonky when they're all fighting up against Sentry, but the costume was great.
Like when he was throwing them around.
Yeah, right. But like it's good. It's a classic MCU costume, and it should be like, I know why people have a distaste for it, because it is like a parody of itself, because Valentina was trying to come up with the perfect hero, so she's taking inspiration from this heroes that she sees in this universe. So it makes complete sense why it's divisive, because sometimes people really like the MCU costumes and people don't like the MCU costumes, right?
Which I think is great, because it's showing how people are saying MCU costumes aren't necessarily the greatest. Yeah. It's great that you're having a character who doesn't truly understand superheroes design this costume that is over designed, over marketed, like feels like it had corporate hands all over it, which it did. That it worked great, and also I thought it was very funny too that they dyed his hair blonde actually.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it's people like blonde people more.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna dye your hair blonde. That was great. Yeah, I think I was very pleasantly surprised with Sentry, and as I mentioned before, I was very happy the final fight was not an actual fight. It was an internal therapy session, which I think was way deeper than I was hoping or expecting, and very happy that they were showing Bob had a traumatic childhood, very similar to Yelena, and it was the idea of Bob kind of surrendering to his depression and worst thoughts of saying you're nothing, the toxic self-talk, and putting down of oneself. And how do you solve that? You rely on your friends. Your friends and family will help you pull you out of that darkness. And that movie, it did a great job. No notes.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, I think just when you start to see, because for me, I kind of felt like it would have been a cycle if his friends weren't there. Like that's kind of what Bob sees all the time when he sees the Void and he fights it. He always loses, but he becomes that version of the Void. That's how I thought. Yeah. Right. So the one difference, right? There's one difference this time was that he had his family there, like the team there, to help break him out. Yeah. And I love that aspect of it. When you see them grabbing onto him and you just see a little bit of Bob, everything else is black. And they pull him out, and then that's what saves New York pretty much. I love that. Yeah.
It was also that's where I think the cinematography was probably the strongest in the movie, because as they were transitioning from trauma room to trauma room, it was cool. Like they were breaking through a door and then they'll fall into the next room. That was awesome, and it was also pretty like heavy stuff they were showing. Like Yelena got her young friend killed in, I guess, an assassin test. And the way this trauma room worked is that the only way you're able to get out of it is to kind of confront it because it's a constant loop, which I think is a great metaphor or I guess personification of those thoughts. Because if you have a regret or a mistake, those thoughts keep playing and playing and playing over and over in your head, and the only way to overcome it is to address it. And that was great. I would just say I would have liked to have seen more trauma rooms for the other characters.
Yeah.
Uh, because I don't remember from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, do they show John Walker's wife and kid, or was this new?
No, they show John Walker's wife, and she's pregnant in the show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then this one he shows he has a kid,
Yeah.
and it's really sad because in his void moment, you see he's neglecting his child when the child's crying, and the wife is saying, "Oh, like pay attention to the baby." He's like, "Oh, I am," but he's just scrolling on his phone mindlessly, and it seems like he's fed up with his, I guess, bad parenting, that she leaves him. And when John is pulled out of the void, it looks like he's about to walk off the ledge and into the void or the abyss itself, which is very dangerous. And that was great. I do agree. I think Ghost did not get as much as she should have. What would you have added for her, or what were you hoping for?
I think probably something with Lawrence Fishburne's character, probably just motivation as to what she's been up to since Ant-Man and the Wasp, because we really don't know what she did since
Anything.
that movie,
Yeah.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
just anything to add to her character and like fill in the gaps would have been great. But she was also kind of a little bit of comedic character, which is okay. But her powers are cool. I like her powers.
Yeah, she was like Shadowcat.
Yeah,
I guess Invisible Woman and Shadowcat.
yeah,
It was awesome because I thought she had her, Yelena, and Walker in the beginning when it was just them three had a great dynamic. How they were all antagonizing each other. And I thought also like a funny scene was when he was talking about his helmet.
yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, what about your hat?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, you mean my helmet? You guys like it? Like, do you like it?" He's like, "I think it's pretty sick." He's like, "Okay, cool. As long as that's what you do." Yeah, just their dynamic between the three of them was great because it just seemed like John Walker had like a chip on his shoulder, ego when he's next to these two really strong women.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, I have maybe like three more things to touch upon. Probably number one, the biggest thing, Taskmaster. Who cares? Like, can I be honest?
Yeah.
Who cares
She
that
got
she showed up
destroyed.
for 2 seconds and died?
So are Taskmaster's fans sad or happy that she got shot in the head because it wasn't really Taskmaster?
No, all five Taskmaster fans of the MCU.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The comic book Taskmaster fans are probably happy because like, hey, this isn't how my character should have been done.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think they should bring in the original Taskmaster.
A real one.
But I don't
Yeah.
think they would do that. They probably just did this to get rid of that that like hanging
Like,
thread.
We're done. We're done with it.
Yeah,
We're done
exactly.
with it. Yeah.
The next one is I forgot what I don't know. The last one for sure is the post credit scenes. If you have anything in between from the movie, well, let's talk about it. But I do want to talk about the post credits.
Yeah, because we're gonna probably get ready to wrap it up with the post credits discussion. Anything else? I think I would just say I think the reason why I love this movie so much was that it was a very grounded, and I would just say it hit home. I thought it was very relatable. It was very human, which is what we want to see in our superhero movies. Yeah, I think we talked on Yolanda, we talked on Bob. I loved Walker, and I would say this: if you're staying for the spoilers because we haven't watched the movie, I honestly think you don't even need to watch the previous movies of these or shows of these characters to be attached. Because I did not watch Black Widow. I saw a few episodes of Captain America and the Winter Soldier. I thought it was great. So I was slightly introduced to Walker, not too much, but for Yelena and Red Guardian, I was not introduced to them at all before this, and I was blown away. So if that is a concern you have, like, oh, I have to do all this homework to watch the movie, you don't really have to. The movie does a great job of establishing who they are, giving a baseline of what their motivation is, and they hit the ground running.
Yeah.
Anything else before? Yeah, what's up?
I guess just the roster of the team, because I guess going into the movie, you were saying that everyone was just complaining about the roster. And do you think that the roster was good? Do you think it could have been changed or modified? Because typically in the comics, the Thunderbolts is like Baron Zemo, Songbird. And they have like, other different.
I know people want Bullseye. I
Yeah,
think people want Bullseye, and I think for the story they wanted to have told, this was the perfect roster because they are not truly despicable characters.
I agree.
They've done wrong. They've done bad things, but I think they can be redeemed.
I agree.
I saw if people said, "Oh, if Bullseye was on this, he literally is going straight to hell." Like, there's
Yeah,
you can't redeem some of these characters in the MCU, and I think uh, as because you would think if the roster, since all their powers are very similar, it wouldn't have been an interesting movie, or at least fun to watch. I think since the movie was focused more on strong writing rather than big boxing fights, the roster was perfect. I wouldn't have. I don't think I would have changed it. I think who they had and the amount that they did have made it very strong because I think the second Suicide Squad predominantly focuses so much on the idea of it being a Suicide Squad and killing characters off that I don't think you really get to be attached to many of them uh, fully. And I think also the first Suicide Squad it got messed with by the studios. Um, so I would just say I think this movie truly showed both Marvel and DC. This is how you do a Suicide Squad movie.
yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah, I wouldn't have changed. Would you have changed? Would you have changed the roster?
I think when the lineup was initially announced, there was a bit of questions. Where it was like, "Where's Zemo? Where's Abomination?" You know, you
Oh
could
yeah, Abomination would have been.
right. You could have added Bullseye, but you know he doesn't need to be in it. I think you're exactly you hit the nail on the head. This movie needs this team because of the story it wants to tell. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember the last point I wanted to make before the post credit scene. I love that it's kind of parallel. Like Yelena and Bob are parallels of Natasha and Bruce. Yelena is the one that can
Oh,
bring down Bob. Natasha can
oh
talk
yes,
down Bruce. I love that.
that was great. I do hate how Natasha was Bruce's love interest,
I
but
agree.
that's a great connection you made. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's truly strong. Because they were saying, oh, for Yelena, how she overcomes her illness is or her depression is by facing it head on. How does
yeah,
Bob do it? Is hug Yelena and he's totally fine. And I'm like, hey,
yeah.
she has that power. She
I
has
think
that. She has it. Florence Pugh has that ability.
yeah. I think for Yelena, the purpose that she found was helping others. So she found that in Bob,
Yes.
and then Bob
Yes.
found that relying on his friends and family gets rid of that bad side. So I like that
Lonely.
parallel. I like that
Yeah.
a lot.
You're not lonely anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Nice.
But yeah,
Anything else you want to talk about before we hit the post credit scene? I know that's what a lot of people are here to talk about.
let's get into the post credit scene. Let's get into the last one. I'm not gonna talk about the middle one. That one was funny. It was a good
It's a good
joke.
one. It's a fun one. It's a
Yeah,
fun one. I enjoyed it. It's
yeah,
just a Wheaties joke.
yeah,
I think Red Guardian's great. He's
yeah,
funny. I don't find him cringe.
yeah.
So the big one, I'm gonna say right off the bat, people in my auditorium, bro, were so goddamn cringe when it came to this movie, this end credit scene, because on Twitter, everyone on the internet, they're saying this is the most important post credit scene in MCU history. It is the longest one. It's 3 minutes long, and like, oh, this is gonna set up what is to come next. And for those who've seen it, it was essentially establishing that the Thunderbolts was a placeholder name, and the real name is the New Avengers, which I thought was pretty cool. But the big thing is, as the team is bantering, they get a cosmic alert, and you see a aircraft or spacecraft flying into orbit. And as it turns, you see the Fantastic Four on the ship, uh, essentially addressing that the Fantastic Four will be coming to the MCU. I thought that was a very underwhelming post-credit scene, especially because it's the next movie, and now it kind of spoils the next movie because it's telling you that they're leaving their planet to go into this one, or their dimension to go into this one. So it kind of tells you they probably lost. Which, I mean, for people who are in the comic fandom, I think we all kind of expected that. But now I'm seeing, I'm like, all right, it confirms it. It confirms that the Fantastic are going to leave their planet. But Alvin, what do you think?
So I don't know if you paid attention to the credits, but you kind of just it
Oh yeah,
spoiled it.
it spoils it too.
Yeah,
It spoils it too.
literally the
Yeah.
last thing you see before the credits go to the post credit scene, Fantastic Four theme by Michael Giacchino.
Yeah.
And I was like, when was
Yeah.
this in
No.
the movie? Right? I was like, am I
I know,
stupid?
yeah.
And then
I know. Yeah.
you go.
Yeah. I know the reviewers I was watching They were saying, hey, if you're gonna stay for the end credits, just don't read the credits because the credits right away spoil what the surprise is. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yep, it did.
Yeah. For me, I think the coolest parts was seeing the team dynamic because you see the new Avengers logo, you see the new headquarters, you see the new costumes. I love Bucky's new costume. I love
It
John
looks
Walker's
great.
little beret. Florence Pugh looks good as Yelena. Her hair slicked back and all
I like.
that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think there's like important things in this post credit scene where like Sam and Bucky they're having beef,
Beef.
right?
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be very
Yes.
interesting to see that in Doomsday.
Is the beef that they're having is I believe Falcon is suing or Captain America is suing the new Avengers for the name Avengers, uh, and I think people at first like initial reaction is gonna say, oh, he's being petty, but I think the real reason why he's doing this is because he does not trust Valentina. Or if she's making this team, I don't really trust them, and also the people on the team I don't necessarily trust. So it will be very interesting to see how Bucky and Falcon or Bucky and Captain America address that in the future. What I thought was funny and kind of unfortunate is you notice the U.S. agent's shield in the credits.
It was bent.
It's still bent. They
It's
never
still-
unbent it.
Yeah.
Like what the hell?
Yeah.
Yes, it's funny. He has like this shield.
Yeah.
I will say I did like him with his helmet on more so than the beret.
I agree.
I hope they either go back to the beret or have him be helmetless. But it was cool. I thought everyone's costume looked great.
Yeah.
I also did like Yelena with shorter hair. I think I like their costumes other than Bucky's, what they had in this movie.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming it'll probably change coming into the next Avengers movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, did it have you excited for Fantastic Four? Because people in our theater were cheering and clapping and roaring, and I'm like, dog, this movie's coming out in 2 months. Like everyone, it's not a big reveal. Like we know that Fantastic Four is the next movie.
No, I think like I said, the most interesting part was the team dynamic, and then when it showed the spaceship, I was like, okay, and how am I supposed to feel? I don't know these characters.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
You're right.
Yeah,
It spoils the movie, and I guess the biggest thing it confirms is like they're coming from a different dimension, because it's an extra spatial.
Dimensional craft.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I don't like that. This Fantastic Four are coming from a different universe. I hate that actually. I actually hate that, bro. They should
really,
be
why?
they're the first family. Have them have the respect that they deserve. Here's my theory. I always wanted this to happen. They start off in the MCU universe, right? As the first family, they start off in our universe. Then because of the space travel dimension project that they go on, they leave our universe, and this post-credit scene is them coming back to their original universe.
Okay, that would be. Is it what you want, or is it what you're predicting?
I want that to happen, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. I do think probably it would be confusing for people like, oh, they're in the planet and then they leave the planet, or in the dimension and leave the dimension and come back.
Yeah.
I do think it's a great idea for Marvel's first family to have them be like the first heroes. That would be really sick.
Yeah.
Because I think the movie takes place. I don't even know what time, but it's in the past for sure.
Yeah.
So that would be really cool. I do think it's going to more so be that they're fleeing their dimension, coming to this one, leading into Secret Wars and Doomsday.
Yeah.
So we just have to wait a few months to follow up with Fantastic Four. I will just say this: if Fantastic Four is anything like this movie, I hope James Gunn has done a good job with Superman, because Superman's going to have some competition. I don't know about you, just seeing more and more of the promo material, merchandise, and lack of Superman in the material has me very concerned. I think the Fantastic Four trailer is a masterclass not a masterclass. It's a good trailer. It's a fun trailer. I'm excited for it. Alvin, what are your thoughts on Superman?
This is a whole other video, brother. Okay.
Yes, Alvin, quick. Is Superman gonna succeed or flop?
It's gonna flop. We had a very good discussion in Shibuya Crossing about this 2 weeks ago. I think it's not gonna be good. I mean, it's not gonna do well because, dude, we are 2 months out and there's no trailer. There's no second trailer for this movie out. Where's the promo coming from?
I agree.
Are you serious?
They keep putting their advertising on the Puppy Bowl and Crypto. I don't understand it. Show me Superman, not crypto.
Yeah.
And yeah, I am very worried. I need my DC universe to succeed. We haven't had a good movie in a while. Um, yeah. Closing thoughts. Are you excited for Fantastic Four?
Ah, I love the Fantastic Four. I am not as excited about it as I was or could be because I
Why?
I don't know. Again, every movie that I watch now, I don't feel excitement or hype. I'm always going in with just like the lowest expectations.
Cynicism.
Um,
Which will probably give you a more enjoyment pot. Like probably up until the movie, you're gonna have less enjoyment. When you go in with lower expectations, you'll probably come out pleasantly surprised.
yeah, I think it's I don't know. I would say the movie is gonna be around like a 70 to a 74 on Rotten Tomatoes.
You think it's gonna be lower than Thunderbolts?
I think Thunderbolts is gonna be the highest rated comic book movie of the year. Mark my words. We will have
Is it
this
deserve it? Is it deserve it or non deserve it?
Thunderbolts
Yeah.
of the 89.
Yeah, and you're saying how it's gonna be the highest rated comic movie of the year. Are you saying it's gonna be deserved?
Yeah, I would say so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. What about you? Any thoughts
I,
about Fantastic Four?
I'm excited. I think. I mean, we had fan shit stick in 2015. Not a fan of it. I'm curious to see what they do. I think it looks pretty sick. I think Johnny Storm looks cool. Thing looks great. I'm excited to see what they do with Invisible Woman and also mainly Reed Richards. I think they're not showing him as much in the trailers, and I think the reason why is because probably his scenes are going to be containing spoilers. But I do think it's interesting to see. It does look like in the trailers, Reed Richards is guilty because he knows something and he possibly might not be able to save everyone. I think that can be very interesting, and it'll be cool to see Galactus. Um, yeah, and then I guess after Fantastic Four, we go into Doomsday.
Yes, sir.
That's gonna be pretty exciting. Pretty exciting. I hope Doomsday's a good movie. I know they're shooting Secret Wars right now. 1 year turnaround is crazy. Um, we'll see if the writing and mainly the CGI is there because usually the Russos make boxing movies. So if it doesn't look good, that will be
Yeah.
unfortunate because I do think the Avengers 3 and 4 has aged since I watched it at the
Yeah.
gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, his age. Yeah, it does not look like the Wolverine. Rewatch the Wolverine, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great movie. We just came from Japan. It was the perfect watch. Um, I say we deserve the Mangold cut for the Wolverine. Also, I
Preach.
do think it's time for Hugh Jackman to hang up the claws. I love my man Hugh Jackman, but I want to see a new take, and also he's not as buff as he used to be, so it's always unfortunate to see that as he is. He truly was his
Yeah.
goals.
Yeah. And I guess one closing remark before we leave this video. I know it's going on a little bit longer. Bring back Jonathan
Good
Majors.
Bring back John Majors, baby, as magazine dreamed.
Hashtag bring back John
I would love-
Majors.
I would love to see magazine dreams fight Doctor Doom.
Same.
That'd be a good fight.
Same. I agree.
Also, add Smoke and Stack.
Oh.
If this really wants to be a multiversal movie, add Smoke, Stack, and Cornbread. Alvin, you're gonna love Cornbread in Sinners, bro.
Okay. I'm excited, but that also sounds a little bit racist.
Keep an eye out for Cornbread. He's great.
Okay.
Cornbread, Remick is really cool. I'm
Yeah.
I'm also very excited to hear your thoughts on it. Yeah, I think we did our discussion on Thunderbolts. We were both very happy, very excited for what's coming next. We will we'll have a couple of videos coming out. We have our Hulk video on Hulk Gray coming out pretty soon. I don't know if Alvin has. You guys did a Fantastic Four video. Is that been shot or no?
Oh, the Fantastic Four
Okay.
life story?
Yeah, was that shot? Or no?
No.
Oh, okay. So you guys had a video I thought was in the back burner.
Yeah, it's been a month old. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. It's about Avengers Doomsday. We have time, all right.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll come out pretty soon. Alvin will get this video out.
I don't know. I got jet lag. I'm tired. Well, actually, what I recall is I'm recording it and then you'll edit this one. I'll send it to
I
you.
didn't say that.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You said that.
You're misquoting me. You're misquoting me. Alvin will get this video out. Tomorrow, he'll just slap.
Yeah, there's a reason why Amir was not in this video. I will say that. There's a reason why Amir was not in this video.
He said he was working on the vlog. I don't know if that's true or not.
I don't think he
Alvan
shot
will
a
slap
single
out
second of
wallpaper.
footage in Japan.
Oh no, he did. I did hear him in the hotel room.
Okay.
So as I was saying,
Okay.
Alvan will get this video out tomorrow. He's gonna slap a wallpaper on the back of this video, upload it real quick, turn around. You guys will be able to stay in on the Thunderbolts discussion.
Yes.
We do not want this video out a week later when no one's talking about it.
Yes, that's true. That's true. That's true.
It's great to be back. I'll just say it's great to be back. I'm very happy. I mean, we saw Alvan in Japan, but it's nice to shoot a video with him again. The crew is back.
Yeah.
Stay locked in on the channel. We're going to be making more videos pretty soon, especially with summer around the corner. We have a lot of possible hits and I think some stinkers coming our way. So keep it locked on our channel. Hit the like and subscribe button. If you enjoyed this video, drop a comment. Talk about some of your favorite moments in Thunderbolts. If you think Phantasm 4 will be great. If your thoughts on Doomsday. And also, we're always curious to hear the fans' thoughts on Superman. If we think James Gunn will do a good job, do it justice, or if it should have been stayed with Henry Cavill. We'll love to hear your thoughts on it.
Don't tell us that, actually. Don't leave that out of the comments. This is a Marvel video.
Alvan, any thoughts or any Star Wars thoughts? What is it? May the 4th?
Oh, yes. May the 4th be with you. And also...
Yes, from Omid Wan Kenobi and Jabba.
What are you talking about? Amir's not in this video.
You're right. What is his name? What's the bear playing? What's his name? Like Yoda or something? Or Dora the Hutt?
No, I'm the Alvalorian. So.
Okay, I'll take it. It works. Alvalorian and Omid Wan Kenobi. Any thoughts before we actually leave?
Stay tuned for a review of Andor seasons 1 and 2. That show is peak. I've not seen season 2 yet, but I know it's great.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. All right.
Good one, guys. We'll see you soon. We'll see you on the next one.
See you guys. Peace.